And we're back again. We've got Super Graham. We got Unks in the building. First thing, the last stream overran. I took the piss with the timing, so I extend my apologies to Graham. And Lee said as well, man. We ran over, man. We're sorry, Graham, man. But lateness is greatness. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm well, mate. How are you?
I'm good, man. You see what our team's doing? Getting 3 points, keeping clean sheets. What more can you ask for, man? Like, I don't know what to say to you, Graham. I don't know how to start this stream. Like, proud of the boys so far, man. So far, so good.
Yeah, just start by saying that we now have 7 W's in a row since the draw with Man City. Only conceded 1 goal. So we're on a fantastic run and we're top of the league. And so, you know, to be talking to you on a Monday afternoon for the next hour or so about Arsenal and we're top of the league is probably, you know, fantastic, isn't it? You couldn't have a better Monday than that, could you? Sort of like, it wasn't a great game yesterday, but we got the job done. And, you know, it's great at the moment, the way, you know, that we're playing. I know people are questioning the set pieces and questioning the fact that we're not scoring much from open play. But to be honest, I don't care. At the end of the day, you know,
me, you and Lee have all said that now. Nobody don't care. We want to score from open play, but if we can keep scoring from corners and we win shit, I don't think anyone cares.
Yeah, I think the way I look at it, DG, is that what we're faced with now, week in, week out, particularly at home, is we've got teams sitting in low blocks for 90 minutes who basically are not really interested in pressing us up high. And I think that's a credit it's a credit, mate, to the way that Arteta's built this team. If you go back 2 years ago, we scored 91 goals in the Premier League. And we weren't scoring those goals from set plays. We were scoring those goals really through open play, through transitional play, through good rotations and triangles.
The Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli year, isn't it?
Yeah. So, and I think what's happened over the last 2 years is teams are giving us so much respect now that they're just frightened to play football against us. And as a result of that, I think we are coming up against teams who are content to sit with 10 against behind the ball. So we've had to find another way to win. And what we've done is against these teams who congest the centre of the pitch, who stop us from playing our football, although our expected goals from open play, I think, is quite high. We're not scoring that many goals from open play, but we are literally finding another way when they stop us from playing through the middle of the pitch by, you know, winning our duels, getting them to basically give us corners and free kicks, and we're taking advantage of that. So, you know, there's lots of ways to skin a cat, isn't there? And we're finding a way now to beat these teams who are sitting against us in low blocks. And the media, Jeff Stelling this morning on Talk Sport, and all this stuff that you've just put up on your stream now.
Jamie O'Hara, Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, anyone and their dog who has a mic and an Arsenal agenda.
Yeah, but if you look at that table you put up there, DG, we're only 3 points off the top, aren't we? Even if you take away all our goals from open play. So, you know, it's not as, you know, I think that, you know, I think that this new narrative, I think, doesn't take into account the way teams play against us. There's no criticism of the likes of Crystal Palace, who sit with 5 behind the ball, 2 holding players in front of those 5, and just defend and look for counter-attacks for 90 minutes, even when they go 1 down. Yeah, I'm just going to say, even when they go 1 down, they don't look to come out. So there's no criticism of teams who want to sit deep and don't want it to make it a good game of football. And I noticed that, you know, the last few weeks when other teams are scoring from set plays, Tottenham got 2 yesterday from set plays. They don't face the same sort of criticism. We got beat at Anfield by a goal from a set play. So, you know, I think what we've got now is a very good football team that can win football matches in different ways.
I think you're bang on. And I would say, you know, obviously, they're not an elephant in the room, but what West Ham, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Fulham, these are games that in previous years we've dropped points. I don't know if anyone would describe them as bogey teams. I'll just say bogey fixtures. And I think we've showed the maturity just to get the job done. Of course, I want to score more from open play. I want to score 3 and 4 and 5. But you can't do that every week. Teams are, like you said there, Graham, if people want Arsenal to be a bit more entertaining and expansive, then other teams have to open up. Teams don't want to do that. You mentioned Liverpool, and actually Liverpool's whole game plan around that, I would say Ruben Amorim the same, actually. And you could throw Pep Guardiola. If teams want us to play more expansive football, or fans better yet, because it is really just pub chatter and agenda-driven nonsense that people say this about, open up. Why would you, for rivals, why on God's green earth would you give us space? We're going to harm you. In the same way, why would we not be good defensively? But I do want to ask you, Graham, how do we improve at this? Because, like, obviously titles, like goals win games, titles, defense wins titles, and I do think there's building blocks. But if we were to talk about our players of the seasons, everyone will probably have Gabriel Magalhaes, Timber, Calafiori. You might get into a Rice or a Zubi, but it would be the midfield unit or a couple of those and the defenders. It wouldn't exactly be the attackers. Now, individually, I don't think any attackers are playing. They're not playing bad, but they're not playing amazing. If anything, Trossard and Martinelli are two of our better players. How do we get more out of them? Like, is it an issue? Like, how do we get more from open play? How do we get more out of the Yokerezes and etc.? Like, what do we do? Because Lee was saying it, and it is true in that, you know, if we can find a way against set pieces, great. But what if it's that one day where we're having an off day with our set pieces? Our set pieces are cash money, but what if it is low blocks and we're not making it happen? Like, what's the other ways? How do we get around this? Like, how do we get our attackers playing amazing?
I think what you've had for the first 9 games of the season is, I think we've had our injuries. I think, first of all, I think you have to factor that in, DG, because I would love to see Arsenal play with maybe 2 number 10s, for example. That's one way where we could be slightly more expansive. So if we were to
robbed of that against West Ham when Odegaard,
if we play Odegaard right 10, Eze left 10, and then we still had our 2 wide players, that is a very expansive sort of like attacking lineup. So if you're saying to me, how could we get more expansive? That's one thing we could do. We could maybe play the extra attacker, or if we're building up, we could maybe build up in a line of 6 up the top. And, you know, we could, you know, maybe just sort of like only have, normally we build up in a 3-2-5, but if we were to sort of like go with 6 up top, you know, when we're building through the lines, that would give us the extra player up high. So that's one way we could do it. But the problem you've got is when you play against teams who literally congest the middle of the pitch, congest the zone 14, which is the middle part of the goal, just outside the penalty box or the D, is the area where most goals come through in football, right? But what teams are doing is they're literally congesting that part of the pitch, stopping Arsenal from creating there. So it's a difficult one to answer. You could maybe throw more attacking players into the lineup. You could maybe play more players up high, but you've got to respect the fact that teams can counter on you quite quickly. I mean, yesterday, Palace, we had to respect with Palace yesterday the fact that when they defend in a 5, they got 2 wing backs, particularly Munoz, who are really good in transition. And then they got 2 runners off Mateta. They play the ball up to Mateta. They have 2 runners from midfield, and then wing backs go into offensive positions. And they do that in a counter-attack sort of style. So we had to respect that yesterday.
Right.
I think generally in the games that I've seen, yesterday was a poor example because I don't think we played well yesterday. I think because we put a lot of energy and intensity into the Madrid game, I think that affected the performance yesterday. Saka had been ill all week, so he didn't look 100% yesterday, and he came off. So I think some players weren't at the levels that they can be yesterday. But there have been some poor performances recently, including the Madrid game, where I thought we were excellent in open play. I know the goals, again, came mostly from set plays. But I still thought that we were sort of like created expected goals from open play. If we weren't doing that, I'd be worried, you know, but we're not. We've got players who can do that. And I think as the season goes on and players come back, the likes of your Odegaards, I think that will improve.
I'm with you, Graham. Like, obviously, you mentioned Odegaard. We knew before the game that Odegaard was injured, Havertz is injured, Madueke is injured, Jesus is injured. Obviously, Gabriel Magalhaes. Now, maybe Mikel Arteta was doing that manager thing where you tell a bit of a lie, but I'm led to believe, or we're told that he pushed to be part of it. So there's still a bit of a lingering feeling with him. Hincapié was on the bench and came off the bench, but there's still kind of that with him. And then after the game, whether it's illness with Saka, whether it's Rice, Calafiori, I think Martinelli, they're kind of more injured players added to the list. Does it start to make you nervous? Because as you said then, I think you're right. Yeah, like the Atletico Madrid game and then the Crystal Palace game, there's got to be a correlation with it takes a lot physically out of you, and we still did the job. And now you look at the run of games we've got either side of the international break. Does it start to worry you? Even with Brighton 2 days from now, really. Like, can we really even rotate? Like, are you worried about the injuries, especially Rice for me?
Well, obviously, you're always worried when key players get injured. I think the Brighton game this week, I expect to see a totally different 11 to Sunday. I think he'll play. I'll just rattle off what I think the team will be. I think it'll be a Kepa in goal. I think he'll play White, Mosquero, Anchiappe, and Lewis Skelly as the back line. I think Norgard will be the DM. Then you have Wanyeri, probably Eze. And then you'd have a front three of Trossard, Martinelli, and Marino as the forward. So I think only really Eze and Trossard would survive from the starting 11 from Sunday. I think the other 9 either injured or rested won't play. So the Brighton game, we will heavily rotate. We have got a squad now that's quite a lot of depth in it, that enables him to do that. So, and it's still a pretty reasonable 11. And then obviously we come back on the weekend with the game away at Burnley, which is obviously a really big game, because we've got that 4-point lead now. So in answer to your question, I think he will rotate for the Brighton game, and we have got squad depth to cover that. Whether it'd be good enough to beat a Brighton team who are going to go strong is another question, but it is still a good side. And then obviously it's aimed to get the likes of Rice, maybe Calafiori and Saka right for the weekend. Obviously, when you're getting injured players all the time, it is a problem. But we have got squad depth now, which has really helped us in this first quarter of the season. It has really helped us. So, but yeah, if you're picking up injuries, it is a worry, no doubt about it. But all clubs pick up injuries. It's nothing. You have to manage it the best you can. But I do think that we've got squad depth now, and it's been shown over the last few games. But obviously, certain players are really key. But hopefully, Rice in particular is such a amazing player and so crucial to the team. Hopefully, he'll be all right for next weekend.
Exactly, and Rice is the big one for me beyond the obvious. Obviously, all the players, because it's all fun and games with squad depth. A lot of these players have played for their country. It's been like 2 international breaks. The games are coming thick and fast. The less players you have to pick, as everybody knows, the more you kind of run them into the ground. And I am getting a bit kind of nervous. Talk to me about Brighton quickly, because on one hand, yeah, I do think we need to rotate, whether that's slight rotation, massive rotation. But then on the other hand, Graham, I actually want to go strong. Like, I want to take this League Cup very seriously. Like, how serious do you want to take it? And should we be rotating? Because obviously, you name like the back five. I think earlier in my stream, I went with that back five. It's quite a good back five. That could be probably Chelsea's first choice back five. But then when you make these changes, you are going to see a team that looks a bit rusty, maybe not flowing how a first choice side would. So what do you say to that?
Well, what I'd say to that is, first of all, if you look at that back five at the moment, obviously Kepa is going to get the Carabao Cup anyway, so he's going to come in for Raya. If you look at that back line at the weekend, Gabriel was touch and go where he was going to start. I didn't think he would play, to be honest, but he played. So he's obviously slightly nursing an injury still. Saliba came off at half time with some sort of problem.
I forgot him.
Yeah, and then you've got Calafiori, who's now got a slight knock as well. Arteta said in his presser has got a slight problem. So those 3 definitely won't play. So that just means, are you going to play Durin Timber, who's so crucial on that right-hand side, when you got Ben White, who's a perfectly able deputy? And Ben White, when you think about it, was first choice up until the last year or so. So, and I know he's coming back from an injury himself. So I don't see any problems with that back five. The question is, have you got enough in your midfield and your offensive line to hurt Brighton, I suppose, is what you're asking. I certainly think you need to have maybe, I think Gyökeres needs a rest. I do think that he's literally the amount of running and he's doing for the team at the moment in wide areas. I think he deserves the rest. Yeah. So I think Marino will come in for him and play in that position. I don't know about Martinelli. If he's got a strain, obviously that changes things. I don't know what the injury is there, if he's injured or not. I think Trossard maybe gets another game. Maybe I think Wanyeri deserves a chance. We've been saying
I went with off the top of my head, Graham, when I done an earlier stream.
What have you gone with then? What have you gone with?
I tried to consider like some man might not be there. Arteta, I think Arteta kind of half said that Martinelli would be okay. I went with the same back line you went with. So Kepa, Hincapié, Mosquera, White, Miles Lewis Skelly. I want Rice because I'd rather him instead of Zubimendi, but I went with Marino and Zubimendi. I kind of want Eze there for like an hour. Gyökeres the same. So I've gone with Eze, Gyökeres. I know I want to see Wanyeri in the 10, but needs must. So Wanyeri do a job at least from the start of the game for me, right wing. And then Martinelli, if he's there. Obviously, the caveat is we don't know if several players are there, but I just want to. I just want to make sure we still have a threat, and I think Eze and Gyökeres provides that.
Yeah, well, I've got Eze in the team, so I've got Eze as one of my 2 players who I play from the start, who started yesterday.
Let's do your team. So we got the same.
Well, my team, I went with the back 5. I think Norgard. So I've gone with the same back 5 as you. And then I've got Norgard as the defensive midfielder for the simple reason that you have to you've got to give him some game time, basically. Pardon?
These are the games for him. This is why you respectfully you're brought in for things like this.
Yeah. And let's face it, I still think he's a very good player, Norgard. He was one of Brentford's best players. So I think he could. Yeah, of course. So he could do a job at defensive midfield for us. And then you're looking at 2 attacking players ahead of your front 3. I think Wenger-era on the right-hand side. I'd rather have Wenger-era. I think he'd do a job on the right, but we noticed last year when he played on the right for Saka, he wasn't quite as effective. Yeah, I don't think he can offer in those wide areas what a winger like a Saka can do. I think he's better in the Odegaard role in the right 8, where you've got I've got him to the left of the right winger, and then I want Eze on the other side. I want to play Eze on the left 8 for the simple reason that's his strongest suit rather than playing on the right side. So Eze on the left, Wenger on the right, and then if Martinelli is fit, Martinelli on the right, Trossard on the left, and then Merino down the middle. That would be my 11. Then I would have maybe the 1 or 2 players from the 11 yesterday on the bench who could come on after 60, 65 if we're we're in the game, it's 1-1, or we need to chase the game. If you want to do that, but I just think that you've got to give everybody in the squad game time, and the likes of
keep them warm.
Yeah, you got to keep them fresh, just in case there was major injuries. So there's no point not playing Norgard. Then all of a sudden we get major injuries, and he has to come in having not played all season.
And so you bring him to be good enough.
Yeah, of course. So I think the back 4, rest of the back 4, that is still a very strong back 4. White, Mosquera, Henkiapi, and Lewis Skelly. I think that's a very good back 4. Norgard's in front of it, and then you've got 2 attacking 8s in Wenger and Eze. 2 wide players in Martinelli and Trossard, and Merino playing down the middle where he was quite effective last year. That's still not a bad team for me. Obviously, it's not top quality in terms of what we've had over the last few weeks. With key players like Saka, Gyökeres, Declan Rice in particular, and obviously the Gabriel and Saliba missing, but it's still a good side.
I'm with you with that. It's just the only thing is, obviously, we do need to give them game times. It's just I don't expect it to be at a sparkling best. And more than anything, it's maybe I'm overselling Brighton, but it's more the fact that we're playing Brighton. And I know it's a League Cup, but I always say I want to take this seriously. I think, Brighton have a good manager. They got problems that can harm us. I don't know if he's fit, but, the Matomas of this world, the Welbecks, we're going to still need to be good. And I think one thing you indirectly alluded to, I second it. It's like, just because, whether it was my 11 or the 11 we've got here, which is slightly changed, guys are going to have to come off the bench. It'd be nice to see Hincapié and White get 90 minutes just to get a bit more fit. But I don't know if they've got 90 minutes in the legs. And then you look at an Eze, probably an Eze in particular, and maybe even Trossard, because he's our first choice left winger. Those 2 probably don't have 90 minutes in the tank. So I think, you know what? It is strong enough to go out there. How serious do you want us to take this League Cup? Because it is the first opportunity to win some silverware. It is the first opportunity to win something in the season. Might give us a boost on top of everything we've got now.
Well, I want to win the trophy as much as you do. So, yeah, we should take it seriously. But you can't say by putting out that 11 that we're not taking it seriously. And if we had the likes of Timber on the bench, the likes of even if Saka's fit, I don't know what his situation is. Saka on the bench, Gyökeres on the bench. We've still got players who could come off the bench and influence the game. I still think that's a strong side. I do want to take the League Cup seriously. I do think it's a long time since we've won it. We haven't won it for over 30 years.
Exactly.
And Brighton are a team who are on their day really good. Watching them against Man United Saturday night, they weren't great. But they are a lot better than that. Mintoma is injured at the moment, I understand, but they've still got players in wide areas like Minter who are very good players. They beat us last year, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they beat us last year at the Amex. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. No, they drew with us, didn't they? I think it was a draw. I think they got a penalty. Yeah, they got a penalty. But they knocked us out. They knocked us out of the Carabao Cup a couple of years ago. I remember that at the Emirates. And Danny Welbeck is scoring goals at the moment. He's been around a long time, but what a goal he's got on Saturday night. So they've got some good offensive players. Their form's a bit up and down, but on their day, they are a good side, and it'll be a tough game. And obviously, if we play that 11 we lost, we'll probably get accused of not taking it seriously. But I still think that team on paper is a really good side with maybe 2 or 3 on the bench to come on. But what you've got to remember is the key really is the Premier League and the Champions League. These players have had a very hard schedule over the last few weeks. Few of them are carrying knocks. And you run the risk if you play them in another game that the injuries get worse, and then we can't play them in the big games. So he bought a lot of these players like your Keppers, your Norgards, your Mosqueros, and Hinkiapi. I can never say his name right. It's Hinkiapi, isn't it?
I can't, like 1 minute I'm told it's Hinkapi Unks, and then I'm told it's Hinkapier.
Hinkapier. But what I'm saying is, yeah, but I'm saying that those players like Mosquero and him and Norgard were built to add depth to the squad for games like this.
When we want to, obviously.
Yeah, and obviously Mendueki's out at the moment with injury. But so I've got faith in those players. I think they're good players. We have got home advantage, of course, which is something. If we were playing away from home, you might argue that maybe we need to go a bit stronger, but we are at home.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good 11. I mean, hopefully it's good enough to beat Brighton. But I do think, in answer to your question, we should take every trophy we're in this year seriously. And it is the first chance to get silverware. I agree.
You know that means Saka starting in it. I just know Arteta. If Saka is able to be somewhat level of fit, he's gonna play him. And maybe not so much Saka, but Saka and Gyökeres. As much as I agree with everything we've been saying, and especially around resting the squad, I know it's not the same competition, but I always think to myself, if we played on Saturday, Sunday, and it was on the Tuesday, Wednesday, this was the Champions League. Beyond the obvious, would I be saying what I'm saying? So if I wouldn't be saying that, then they're fit enough. And I think I'd love to see Saka get on the score sheet again. I think Gyökeres needs a bit of goals as well. That's another side note. What did you make of Gyökeres in particular against Palace?
Well, he worked hard for the team, worked hard in wide areas. I thought he didn't have his greatest game, I'll be honest. I want to see more from him. But at the same time, he got the 2 goals on Wednesday night against Madrid. Yeah, let's go. So, if you're just judging on yesterday's performance, he wasn't great. But then a lot of the team weren't great, were they? So I wouldn't necessarily just say he wasn't great and no one else and everyone else was. I think he was in a team that just did enough to win yesterday, so overall, though, I'm not too dissatisfied. I think there's more to come. I liked his performance in the week. I think he deserved his 2 goals. I think he is working hard for the team. He is dragging players away from positions, creating space for others. I'd just like to see him getting more shots off, I suppose, when he gets into positions. We talked about what can we do to be more expansive. I would like to see him putting him in positions where he can get shots away. So overall, his performance yesterday wasn't great, but he had a good performance on Wednesday night.
When do you start to get concerned about Gyökeres? No, I don't want to be that guy, but I've got to ask, man.
Well, if he's not scoring goals, obviously we bought him to score goals, and if he's not, if he's not scoring, I think obviously there will be concerns, no doubt about it. He's got now 5, hasn't he? For us, 3 in the league and 2 in the Champions League. Yeah. In about 11 games, is it? Something like that. I think he's played all 9 in the league, and he's played 2. And I think 2 in the Champions. Is it 3? Yeah, 12. I think. Yeah, he's got. Is it 5 in 12? And I think did he come off? He came off the bench against Portugal, didn't he? Yeah, he's played. He started 12 and 1 sub appearance, I think. So he's got 5. Which is probably less than you would have hoped. Let's put it that way. But you've got to remember, he's come into the team. He's finding his way into the team. I know Haaland just hit the ground running, but he's Haaland. Yeah. So I think, when would I get concerned? If the goals are totally drying up. But I think all the time the team's winning. It's a funny thing, isn't it, in football? When the team's winning, you can get away with it more. If the team was losing, or
That's when
not
everyone gets
scoring,
their microscope out.
or not scoring goals. Let's put it that way. If the team are not scoring goals and he's not scoring goals, then you change the striker, don't you? All the time the team are winning and scoring goals, and all right, we haven't scored a massive amount of goals, but we are still. It's not as if we're not scoring. So I think all the time we're doing that, I think he gets, he gets that sort of like wide berth, so to speak. He gets that time in the team, and I think all the time the team's winning, he gets away with it in a way. It's a horrible thing to say, gets away with it, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for want of a better phrase, but it is. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not get away. It's like it goes under the radar. Like
yeah,
it's like even the open play stuff we're talking about. Obviously, everyone can see it. Everyone can recognize it. Everyone would like it to change. Me, you, the chat, Mikel Arteta, everyone. But if we had some, like, if we was in the moment Liverpool are in right now, then yeah, oh my God, we're just scoring from set pieces. We need to do this. We need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, DJ, if Havertz was fit or Jesus was fit, we could help him out a bit by a bit of respite. He could come off after 60 minutes. He could get the odd game where he doesn't play, but he's had to play every single game for the simple reason that Jesus is still not fit and Havertz is got injured as well and he's not fit. So he's had to play every game. We've got no one else, have we, who can, unless we're going to put Marino down the middle. So I think from that point of view, he's had to play every minute. So I think we have to give him a little bit of latitude for that. Whereas he is our number one striker now, in my opinion. But there have been times in games where we could have rotated him. Another thing is that might benefit him. You talked about what we can do to slightly change things up and be slightly more expansive or change the way we play. When Havertz is fit, Havertz and Gyökeres could be like a two up top. Where he could play Havertz just off Gyökeres. And that also might benefit him in a way.
100%.
So so I think he's yesterday. You talked about his, and I suppose I should mention this. Yesterday, he was up against three centre halves. So basically, they played a back three, two wing backs. So he's the lone striker,
just like Man United.
Yeah, he's got occupied. He's being occupied by three centre halves. So it's not easy when you're up against a back line like that, unless you're going to push someone high up with him into another forward into the front line. So I think from that point of view, yesterday it was difficult for him because he was up there on his own against a team that really didn't want to play. They literally just sat behind the ball. So he didn't really we didn't give him much, did we? He was feeding off scraps really yesterday. So I just think overall yesterday it was all about getting the result really for me yesterday, and we got the result.
And that's all it's about. The result comes. That's my mentality this whole season. Of course, I want one of our playmakers or Eze or Odegaard to be up there for assists in the league. I want Gyökeres to be up there for goals. I want the clean sheets. I don't think we're going to do it, but I want Chelsea's honours for the 15 goals. I want all of that. But the main thing is the 3 points for what we're trying to achieve. I feel sorry for Gyökeres, but then I don't feel sorry for him. And what I mean by that is, like you said, like we all know the backdrop of what he came in. We're crying out for a striker. His statistics were unbelievable. He needs to adapt. Havertz has been injured. Obviously, the dynamics of playing for Sporting Lisbon in Portugal and obviously at Arsenal are very different. And also we know, it sounds mad to say, and I don't know any other way of phrasing it, but it's like goals are the least important from a striker in a Mikel Arteta system. The man's not an idiot. Obviously, he wants a goal scorer and he brought Gyökeres, but you got to be able to drop deep, occupy centre halves, link up with the wide men, allow other players to either it's the midfielders to make late runs or like you said, the wingers. So I knew all of this, but then I look at it in that any striker, if we got Isaac, Hugo Ekitike, if we knew that you were going to have to do this, so did Gyökeres, right? I just need a bit more. I feel sorry for him because you look at some of the games, it hasn't been kind to him. Like Marco Silva, nasty mid and low block. You're not going to get any change. You're going to get occupied. Bilbao the same. Manchester City the same. You mentioned it. Manchester United the same. Liverpool, more time. The big games, we know our strikers are cancelled out. I would actually say Newcastle, like Woltmade and Gyökeres, weren't actually in the game like that. Obviously, Woltmade has scored and Gyökeres had the pen shout. So I do feel sorry for him. Do you think he needs to do a bit more is not the right thing, but like a little bit more of individual brilliance? I know there's not always space, but you look at the Leeds goal, for example, he's just made that himself. And if I can remember correctly, I think in the second half against Palace, he had, and I know we're just trying to see out the lead, Unks, but there was a couple of times he kind of had the ball and I was thinking, oh, you know what? You might as well try something and fluffed his lines, if I'm honest.
I thought you saw in the Fulham game a guy basically who had not been scoring goals. He was a couple of times in shooting positions, but I thought a couple of times in that game, particularly the first chance when he shot straight at Leno from a wide angle. there was a player better positioned in the box who, if he got his head up, he should have squared it and someone might have had a tap in. And I think
thinking about goals.
So when you talk about he needs to be doing more, he needs to be scoring goals, that's putting I'm not saying that we're putting pressure on him, but he will feel the pressure of not scoring, and that leads to him having shots probably from positions where he's not going to score, simply because he just wants to get a shot at goal because he's under pressure.
He did that against Olympiacos.
Yeah, of course. And I think I'd rather he sort of like had the manager was saying to him, do you know what? Keep working hard for the team. You're part of this team. If you see a player in a better position, just give him the ball. You know, don't worry that you're not scoring. I've got belief in you. I know the goals will come.
Don't be a hero.
Yeah, don't be a hero. Just sort of like do the things for the team. And yet, to be fair to him, he has been doing that. He's been very unselfish in the runs he makes. He's pulling players out of positions to create space, as I said earlier. So he's playing for the team. And I just think that maybe it's up to the team, really, as we get to know him better, maybe just to give him that chance, give him that half yard on someone to get in a really good position. So as much as the onus is on him, what can he be doing better? I think the question is also, what can the team be doing better to actually help him, you know? And if there is a pass on quickly, if he's made a run off the centre half, if he is in a good position, just give him the ball quickly and enable him to get a shot off. And you know what? Sometimes, more often than not, you get a shot off in a really good position around the 6-yard box or around the penalty box, around the square in the middle of the goal. You get a goal. So I think that we should be doing a little bit more for him also. But you know, I do think the goal is going to come. I think what you'll find with a lot of goal scorers, DG, you follow the game a long time like I have. You know, they go through barren spells. You know, and I know. Last year he was in a weaker league, and he took penalties last year, which inflated his numbers. But what will probably happen in the next few weeks is if he's still in the team and Havertz hasn't come back to share the workload, he'll probably get a couple of goals in a league game, and then he'll go on a run in a league. Yeah,
that's what I'm waiting for. It's only been 8 games. Like I know football's gone hyper, but you can't write him off yet.
Yeah, and all strikers go through. Even Haaland's been through a few, not very often, but he's been through the odd lean spell. So. You know, it could yet just where he goes on a run, and then all these questions we've asked will go away, won't they? So yes, maybe he needs to be doing a little bit more. I take your point, but maybe the team needs to be doing more for him as well.
I definitely think it's more the team in it, because I understand the collective comes first. I understand that Arteta's got his demands of what he wants from every individual, and I also, as much as I'm kind of cutting excuses for Gyökeres, I'm not cutting excuses, because you would have had a conversation with Mikel Arteta about how he sees you, kind of what you're doing now. You're fitting in. You're not standing out. So that's why I think it's confidence, because there's another realm here, which to a degree I'd prefer, but I wouldn't, in that, you know, the 8-9 Premier League games we've played already, he scored in all of them. But across the 90 minutes, when we're using our eyes, he's really not affecting the game. He's doing all the other stuff well, and I think he's getting better and better at that regards. It's more, I would say, from the Newcastle game now, is like, you are getting some half-hearted chances, but you're not taking them. But I still think we need more creation. I do think once players get fit and we allow, you know, like when Odegaard's fit and he's starting every week with Eze, naturally the relationships will start to build, because players need to be available, innit? I do want to ask you something lastly on Gyökeres though. Like, obviously, you know, it's 8 games. We're going to give him time and whatnot. And I'm saying to sell him, because regardless of how it pans out, he did everything he effing could to sign for this club. So he'll always have a supporter in me. But if we get to May, or better yet, the end of the season, whether we've won the league or not, and we're still saying this about Gyökeres, and we concede that, yeah, he's not really the answer, do we sign another striker, whoever that is? Like, and then he's just part of the squad?
Well, I'm interested to know how you would. What in that scenario then? What would the numbers be for you, or what would it be then for you to think like that? Because
I need 15, 20 Gyökeres, man.
Pardon?
I need 15, 20 from Gyökeres.
So you want it's about goals. So you're saying if he doesn't get 15, 20 goals,
yeah, I'm asking, do you change up things?
Yeah. Well, let's sort of look back on it. Really, I mean, first of all, we wanted to sign for Arsenal. Sesko, we were debating in the summer. I did a couple of tactical reviews on AFTV with James.
Big up James.
Yeah, big up James. On Gyökeres or Sesko, we were sort of split who we should go for. You know, who was a better player. Gyökeres was more the here and now because he's 27. I've been banging him in Portugal. Sesko was more one for the future, although his numbers weren't so great in the Bundesliga. But when it push came to shove, Sesko did not want to sign for Arsenal.
You're scared of Havertz?
Pardon?
He was scared of Kai Havertz. Like the Athletic
Yeah,
said, he was
exactly. He didn't want to come. So I'd much rather have a player sign for Arsenal who wants to play for the club, and he did everything possible to demonstrate he wanted to play for the club. He signed on a reduced contract. He could have gone for more money in another league. He actually helped us get that move over the line. His whole heart was set on Arsenal. And I love that in the player. And that's the first thing. So what have we got here? We've got a guy who is a goal scorer, a number 9, who basically, over the last few years, has got as good a numbers as anyone in Europe, albeit in a league that's got a stronger Premier League.
As well.
Yeah, in not as strong a league. So we have still got a good striker. And I don't think he should be judged on one season, DG. I think when you look at it, Henry, when he first came, didn't hit the ground running. Bergkamp took a long time to settle. So I think, and they became like legends of the club, the greatest ever players of the club. Gyökeres do well to achieve what they've achieved, but I still think there's something about him that I think he's going to succeed at the club. And I think we need to give him time. So in answer to your question, if it comes to the season, he hasn't got 15, 20, well, maybe then we need to consider, do we need to go get another striker as well? Well, it's something that we could consider, but I certainly wouldn't give up on Gyökeres.
No. I'm not suggesting that.
And I think it depends who's out there. No, good strikers in Europe at the moment are not easy to find. And you've got to remember, when we were looking around to bring someone in, the cupboard I thought was quite bare. I didn't think there was a lot of, we were just talking about Sesko, we were talking about Gyökeres.
About 5 men, if anything.
Osimhen would have been great, but his wages were absolutely incredible, and he didn't want to come.
We weren't involved. He'd be great, but we weren't involved. Sesko said no. Watkins kind of felt like that was a banker, and then that leaves Gyökeres. Obviously, Hugo Ekitike, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, Ekitike I think has been pretty good at Liverpool. He's been pretty good at Liverpool. I like Ekitike, but at the end of the day, I think Gyökeres has shown me enough. Probably not as much as I would like yet. I'm in that camp with you. I do see what you're saying. He needs to show a bit more, but he showed me a lot of things I like already without actually delivering what we want. So I think it's all going to come. I've got every confidence he's going to get 15 goals this season. Now, Havertz delivered that a couple of years ago. And we weren't exactly, albeit from starting off in midfield and then going up front.
Yeah.
But I think what we see with Gyökeres is we see a forward who gets into the box, who gets across the front line, who gets into positions where he might score. And I think that tide is going to turn sooner or later. I think as the season goes on, I think if we carry on playing the football that we're playing, I think the football will improve to the point where we give him more chances. And I think that he'll start scoring. So, but it's the same in anything in football. If a forward came up in the summer who wants to come to Arsenal, who's a top forward, you'd be churlish not to consider it. So even if you got Gyökeres, why not go and get another forward? If you remember a few years ago when we got Lacazette, we had Lacazette up front, but that didn't stop Wenger.
Aubameyang came.
Aubameyang came, yeah. We had 2 elite forwards, or not elite, but 2 good forwards. So I would say, in answer to your question you asked me a few minutes ago, maybe if a forward comes up, there's nothing wrong with going out and getting another striker as well as Gyökeres. I wouldn't give up on Gyökeres though, and I think he needs more than 1 year.
I know I was dream chasing, but that's why I kind of wanted Sesko and Gyökeres in the summer. When Gyökeres, you're my right now guy. Sesko, you're the protege. When the time comes, like it is what it is, kind of thing. Would you go? This is completely off topic, but I think it's a good question from Kwame because I feel like a lot of people have been asking me this. Like, would you make a Semenyo, and do you think there's any chance of him in January?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's a fucking beast. I'll tell you that. Right? He's an absolute beast. And I love him. I really do love watching him play. He excites me when he gets the ball. He's so physically powerful and strong. He's built for the Premier League. And in answer to the question, it's yes, I would love to have him. I think he could be that missing piece on the left-hand side. I really do. He looks really good this season. I've been so impressed with him. And if we could get him, it'd be absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I'd love to have him at Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan, isn't he, as well?
He's an Arsenal fan. You look at the way Bournemouth play, there's similarities with Areola and Mikel Arteta. He's got a long throw. He's a good in the air. He can play across the front 4. He's both-footed. Like you said, he's an Arsenal fan. There's shades of Eze. He's Premier League proven. I just don't know about January. They let a lot of players go and they got a lot of money in. January is a difficult time to do business. I personally think that's one, maybe people in the chat part that off until the summer of 2026. You never know. I didn't think we'd sign 8 players in the summer, so maybe something happens in January.
I don't think I don't think we're going to do much business in January unless we pick up
If
major
anything,
injuries.
yeah.
But the other thing you got to remember with Bournemouth is they're in the top 4 at the moment, and they might be. They could be chasing. I'm not saying they're going to stay in the top 4. I mean, I like the manager's doing wonderful things there with the players he's got. As you
I hope
say,
they do. It means one of the rivals miss out, but probably not.
yeah. But he's very similar to Mikel in the way he sets his team up. But the thing is that I think if they're challenging to get a European spot next year, either Europa or Conference, or they're up around the top 6, they're not going to let any of their players go in January. I'll tell you that now.
And he's got a 75 million release clause. And we had a big outlay in the summer. Now, I'm not an accountant. I don't work for Andrea Berta, so anything can happen. But there's been times where we've cried for players in January and not done anything. So when we've had the summer that we've had, I wouldn't hold my breath, fans. Stranger things have happened, but I just want to hold my breath. And I think in January, it's a reactive window anyways. In an ideal world, you don't want to sell or buy anyone because you dealt with your squad in the way you need to. Of course, things can happen, but surely if you're Bournemouth, I know he just signed a new contract. They're pointing you to his release clause of about 70, 75 million if you want him in Jan. If you want to negotiate, we can negotiate in the summer. If you want him now, if you can't pay, take it away type of thing. So we'll have to see, man. I wouldn't hold my breath, man. But I do think left wing is one of the missing pieces. A lot of people also been asking me about Julian Alvarez. Like, well, what do you make of him? I think he's a baller. I don't think he fancies moving back to England. I mean, why would you? You're in sunny Spain. But if there was an opportunity, would you go for him?
I love Alvarez. I'll be honest with you. One of the reasons I took my son out to Madrid last February to watch Real Madrid v Atletico, and knowing that Alvarez was playing for Atletico,
Scouting mission.
I think he's such a great player. And do you know what, that game against Atletico last week turned on that moment where that piece of individual skill where he hit the bar, didn't it? It was sort of, if that had dropped below the bar and gone in, we would have been chasing that game.
Yeah, that made my heart drop.
He's such a good footballer, and I don't know why City let him go, other than the fact that they've got Haaland, and he probably didn't like playing second fiddle and being rotated. I think he's a brilliant footballer. I'd love him at Arsenal. He's in my top 10 favourite footballers. So you people who are watching this afternoon are, saying the right things to me with Semenyo and Alvarez. They're two players I actually love watching. Apart from my team, if I'm looking at I do watch other clubs' games because I love watching football. But they're two players I greatly admire. Alvarez is such a good footballer, not just a class forward, but everything. The way he drops, the way he plays the game, the way he reads the game. So much I like about him. He'll be an absolute asset for Arsenal.
He'd be an asset. He's just going to cost a pretty penny. My hot take, and I said this earlier, I don't know why. I don't know why I think this. I just think you're going to go Barcelona. I just think it's set up for you to go Barca. I've got no evidence on that. I do think if we bidded for Alvarez, I think he'd listen. I mean, we've got Berta, who he knows. We've got Mikel Arteta, who he's seen doing a good job. Obviously, there are things that attract him. It's just, I think he'll look at it and say, do you know what? I've won everything at City. I don't quite fancy the weather in England. I'm in sunny Spain. I'm surrounded by South Americans. I just don't want to move back, and I don't know how much Atletico are going to ask for. If they're talking 100-odd million, I'm all for it because as you know yourself, he doesn't just play up front; he can play across the front three. But do Arsenal reckon essentially you're spending that on another striker? Where I couldn't tell you what just because we think we've got a complete squad, maybe Mikel Arteta thinks he's missing 3-4. I don't know. So it'd be interesting, man. It'd be interesting. But people, we've got what we've got now, whether that's Jesus, Havertz, the players that are playing now. This is the tools in the toolbox for this season. So we've got to park off all the sell talk. Speaking of parking off the sales talk, there's a couple of questions for you, Graham, in the chat. Yes or no, does Graham believe we're winning the league?
I think that we've got a fantastic chance this season. I don't want to jinx it by saying we'll win the league. But I think we're never going to have a better chance. I think the drop off at Liverpool over the last few weeks, although I think they'll come again. Man City, incredibly reliant on Haaland. If he was to get injured, I think they wouldn't replace him. And I do think they're not, they're quietly under the radar, aren't they? But that defeat at Aston Villa yesterday was, I think, a massive loss for them. So I think that, with the depth we've added to our squad, the players we've got now, I think we have got a great chance of winning the league. So I do think we are rightly being called favourites at the moment. It's still too early, though. It's only 9 games, DG. There's still quarter of the season gone. I think the only question marks about the team will be that the one thing that's thrown at Arsenal all the time, when you get into that business end of the season, the last 9 games, where if it does get tight, the players have never won it before. This group of players, can they then handle the pressure? If they can, I think we will win the league. I still think I think we've got a fantastic chance of winning the league, and but I just don't want to jinx it by saying we're definitely going to do it. But I think if this is the year to do it, and I think that this is the year that we should do it.
What did Graham say there, people? Word for word, almost what I said in the stream earlier. It just feels like, wow, we can't get excited. We can't get excited. We can be excited about us winning games, having a new level of maturity, the squad, all of those things that any football fan across 90 minutes can get excited. In terms of the Prem, we have to just keep moving. Like, it's October. I like the lead, 8 points, but stranger things have happened. I genuinely think it's running to the wire, and I genuinely think all three teams haven't clicked. I don't think Arsenal have clicked. Now, we're in a completely different headspace to Liverpool, but I'm praising our defending and things like that. So you can imagine where there's a reality either in the next few weeks, me and Graham and you lot are sat here and we're talking about, wow, Gyökeres is starting to do this now and Eze's doing that and this one's doing this. So when it all comes to a head, we could be unstoppable. But we, as cliche as it is, people, game by game, we just keep moving. From now, let's just get into the January period still feeling like this. And then obviously from January, let's get to April, May, and just bring it home. I want to ask you as well, before I bring up this question, Charles, don't worry, I'm going to ask Graham your question, yeah? But just before that, on the topic of Crystal Palace as well, Arteta said it's the biggest victory we've had this season. Do you share that?
I think what he means by that was following the Atletico Madrid game, to play Crystal Palace, a team who traditionally we have last year struggled to beat. I think he meant it from that point of view. I don't think necessarily it's the biggest win we've had this season.
One of the bogey teams.
Yeah, if you're looking at it from the bogey teams point of view, but I think every game's important now. Every game's a must win. So I think he's looking at it more from that point of view. The fact that I think he was more or less saying that we'd had that really high, intense, difficult game against Madrid in the week. That to win this game straight after that was a really big win. I think that if you look at it like that, if you're talking about the game we played in Europe against a top European team, then we come back at the weekend, we're up against a Palace side who, let's face it, they are a good side. They've won the FA Cup. That's what made it a big win, probably our biggest win. The fact that it was straight after an intense, difficult game against Madrid, and the players, they're human, to come back at the weekend and to be able to knock out another win against a team having played so well on Wednesday night.
Maturity.
It showed maturity, as you say, to do that. So from that point of view, if he's meaning it's our biggest win of the season, I'd have to think back to the wins we've had this season to answer that question. Top of my head, I can't remember every single team we've beaten this season.
Yeah, we just keep winning, and I hope that continues to be the case, Graham. But that's what I mean.
I would argue. Yes, I would argue the victory at Man United was a big win. To go to Man United on the first game of the season and get a win, I think probably our biggest win of the season yet.
We were a better team in terms of the result, not necessarily in terms of the performance, but this is life, innit? Yeah. With football, sometimes you win or lose when you deserve a bit more or less. It all depends, because you could sit here and say Atletico Madrid is the biggest win. Some people could sit here and say, when we smacked up Nottingham Forest or when we beat Leeds. I might even say Newcastle, because I just think there was a lot of resilience. I feel with the games that you see on screen, there's been a lot of maturity. Well, there was maturity in the Newcastle game, but I think that was resilience. That's the resilience I need to see that wins you trophies. I think you could include Newcastle, but these three teams, or all four, but focusing on the next three, their teams on paper, you're like, oh, as an Arsenal fan, you think you can win, but these could potentially be banana skins. And we've showed maturity. West Ham, fair enough, it's only 2 goals, but there was a level of performance there. Couldn't really, a bit like Bilbao, I think Marco Silva doesn't get enough praise for his mid-block against us, because he really stopped Zubamendi, Rice, and Eze getting on the ball. But maturity, you're not going to break us down. We got one opportunity. We're just keeping it moving. And as Graham eloquently said there, the Palace game, innit, it's these are the building blocks of champions. So we just have to take it game by game. No one's achieved nothing yet. We're a good team. The task for this year is to become a great team, and great teams win stuff and put themselves in history and things like that. Before I forget, Graham, as well, what are you saying for Eze? Because me and you have given him his plaudits, but one thing we said the last time he was here is he's good enough to go and grab some goals, and he scored. Like, he's another player like Declan Rice and Declan Rice, who else? Marino, scoring against their former teams. Like, what are you saying for Eze?
Well, I think the way he respected the Palace fans yesterday, and their response to him was fantastic in the stadium. It was class, yeah. I do think what you see with Eze at Arsenal is he's not going to be the same player at Arsenal he was at Crystal Palace for the simple reason he was the main man at Palace, and basically everything went through Eze. But at Arsenal, there's other players good players who want the ball as much as he does. So he doesn't get on the ball at Arsenal in much the same way as he does at Palace. I think what we have seen is the ability to create the assist for Martinelli against Man City, the goal yesterday, and the ability to take shots on, whereas in the past we've been a team criticised for not taking shots on. So he gives us that dimension. I love the way he drops the shoulder and he can go past the player either way. He gives us that. Man. Yeah, he gives us that little bit extra in tight areas. So what do I make of him? I think he's growing into the team, and I think there's a lot more to come.
Do you think he realizes he has to be the talisman or one of them, though, as much as he's one of the many? Because, you know, you've got a young Wenger-era, you've got a Marino who's a bit not hit and miss, but hit and miss in the 10. Odegaard's gone. Obviously, all the fans love you and we're happy about you and we know what you did at Palace and the history. Do you think he's starting to realize that I'm that talismanic guy? Because I think he is. I saw it against City. The Newcastle game for me is the best I've seen him play. Like, I know he didn't score, but just the consistent havoc. And I like Odegaard, I like Eze. I'm not going to get drawn on which one's better, but I think because of where we're at, Eze sees it and does it. Not to discredit Odegaard, but yeah.
I think he's got tremendous confidence in his own ability. I think he's aware of the responsibility. I think he's aware that he is a talisman for the team now. I think that is when you've got he's a player, I think, who's gone through on quite a journey in football to get to where he's got. So I think he's really loving where he is now. I don't think he feels the pressure, DG. I think he's somebody who's very confident in his own skin and his ability. And I think the way he's now playing in the team shows me a player who realises he's willing to accept the responsibility. And he's somebody, I think, who has now delivered big moments in games. I think he's been getting better. And I think the goal he took yesterday was absolute class. So, yeah, I think he is realising now his importance in this team.
And I'm happy he scored that one because it wasn't the same, but it felt like it was similar fashion to, I'm sure, against West Ham. Like he had a golden edge chance and he didn't score. So I'm happy he's got that monkey off his back. I don't really care, but it's just a bit of a shame that it had to be against Crystal Palace. But yeah, like him, Gyökeres, the biggest thing beyond the obvious as to why I was happy with you lot are 27. You lot know that my footballing career is still here, but these are my prime years. I need to get over the line. So this is what I mean. And you said it the same, in that we're ticking over, we're doing what we need to do, but we haven't hit our final form. So I think it's scary for the league. If everything clicks into place for Arsenal Football Club, it's scary what we can achieve this season. But we just need to calm down, just keep working and seeing where it takes us. Charles has got a question for you, Graham. I'll read it out. DG, question for Graham. Is the UK the birthplace of total football or beautiful football? How Premier League clubs become custodians of how football should be played, and why is Arsenal being dragged in the mud? What do you say to that? It's a lot to take.
Well, I mean, I think
it's a difficult one.
It's a very different. There's three parts to his question. I'll deal with the bit that's the easiest bit first. Is why is AFC being dragged into the mud? Is purely that. I think he refers to what they're saying about the fact we're scoring goals from set plays, not from open play.
Cool to hate on Arsenal.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of hate towards Arsenal. I mean, it's great that George Graham was in the stadium yesterday watching our defence, because he was the one who gave us our great defence in 2 title-winning teams, and he gave Wenger his best ever backline. So he would really be purring at that back four.
I said we're supposed to be getting hated as well, so it's poetic that question's been asked. Great man.
It is, and I think we're being dragged into the mud for the simple reason. I think it's because we're being criticised because we're being called set piece FC. I think the difference between set piece FC and us is set piece FC were teams who could only score by a set piece, and I mean like Stoke. They didn't have creative players in their team; they relied on set pieces. The difference between us and the difference between us and set piece teams of that ilk is that we can also score from open play as well. Although we're not doing it so much at the moment, we are capable of it, and we've got technicians and good footballers, and we play good football, so we're capable of it, and we're not just reliant on set pieces. You know, although you might argue we're scoring more goals from set pieces here, I still think we've got players in open play who can create. So we can play teams in lots of ways. If they want a physical game, we can play a physical game. If they want a game that's an open game. We can play an open game, and teams who want to sit in a low or medium block who stop us from playing our football, we now found a way to score through set pieces. But there's a bit of jealousy towards Arsenal. There always has been. George Graham said we're the most hated team in football, and I think that's being shown at the moment because the media and certain people in the media love tarnishing us with that. In answer to his question, I think the beautiful game for me was always about the way the Brazil played the game. The Brazilian teams of the past, I mean, that is some of the most beautiful football I've ever seen. But the birthplace of football really was this country, wasn't it? So
history-wise,
history-wise, the birthplace of total football was England. But the beautiful game, I think, is more associated with Brazil. I do think the Premier League, because it's now the most exciting league, despite some of the negative football we see at times, has really got an onus on sort of like maintaining the standards of beautiful football. I do think that because people pay a lot of money to watch the Premier League now. It is a massive product, and I think all clubs and the league itself have got an onus on putting the facilities in place so teams deliver good matches and players play exciting football. So when football becomes a bit negative, as we've seen a bit this season, that, although not damaging the product, is something that I don't want to see, because I think that there is a responsibility for teams and the league to deliver exciting football for the fans who pay a lot of money to watch it. But that's why I'll break that down. Beautiful football from Brazil, custodians of the game. I think the Premier League have got
great answer.
Have got a responsibility for that. And I think the reason why Arsenal in the mug is pure bloody jealousy.
Exactly, and this is why people always say, I know it's difficult, whether you're at work listening to the radio and whoever talks about Arsenal, whether you're driving in your car, whatever you're doing. I know it, or seeing it on social media. I know it's difficult, people. I know it's really difficult. We love Arsenal. Some people love Arsenal more than their own family members. You want to defend the club. Ignore them. These people don't believe half the things they're saying. They just want people talking about it. They just want engagements. You've got Jamie O'Hara coming out and saying Mikel Arteta is not a top 10 manager in the world. Even Mikel Arteta's haters in this Arsenal fan base wouldn't now come and tell that barefaced lie. So they're saying things for reactions. When we learn to ignore, things get better. And when we do what we need to do in May, they're going to have to shut up in it. Like, all of these things are going to stop. And even if they don't stop, we're not going to care. We're going to be busy celebrating. There's another question from Rob. Graham, your thoughts, positives and negatives on the upcoming 5 games. I can bring them on screen.
The next 5 games are, we've got obviously Brighton in the Carabao Cup. The negative will be that we're going to have to rotate because we've got to give players a rest. Although we've answered that today, haven't we, by said that basically we've got to give players game time. The next games after that, we've got Burnley away, Prague away in the Champions League. Then we've got Sunderland away. And there might be, what's the other game there you've got on your screen?
Sunderland. Then there's an international break. Then you've got
international break. So we've got.
Chelsea.
The games are all away from home, bar the Brighton game, aren't they? So we've got a collective there of away games, which is more difficult. But we've shown that we can handle that. But the positive is the way the team are playing, the way we're defending, the way we're playing as a unit. I think we're capable of handling the pressure of those games. Obviously, we've got games there we should win on paper, but no football is played on paper. Burnley and Sunderland. Yeah, I think Burnley and Sunderland, good teams who approved.
Sunderland's going to be a nasty game. I really had. I got egg on my face, Graham. I had them, like, when you do your predictions in August, I was like, yeah, you lot are going straight back down. Ignorant comment, because I weren't watching them week in, week out. They made me look dumb. You're over excelling. Credit to them on the weekend for what Granit Xhaka and Cole did. They're almost halfway to getting 40 points. So that is going to be a difficult game at the stadium of, like, under the lights, really and truly. And for me, go on.
No, I was just going to say that will be difficult, Sunderland away. I'll just let you know that I'm coming. Now, we started a bit late today. I'm coming up to the end of my time because I've been on an hour now. And so I don't like cutting off. I love talking football with you, and we're doing many more.
You've got things to do. That is
I'm coming up the next few minutes. I'm going to have to jump off, but
have you got time for one more question?
Yeah, I've got one more. Yeah.
Someone comment one more question before you let Unks get out of here, man. One more. We've gone over. We got you, Rob. I got you, Chris. One more question, people. Come on. Well, this is a good one. Which team's football is more sustainable than ours?
That's a really good question, isn't it?
Good question. Pick up.
That's a brilliant question. I
That's a good, probably. I'd say
That's a question that's going to need some thinking
PhD.
about. I think the football we play is most sustainable. I really do, because I think that I think Manchester City's is sustainable because they literally, their team set up around Haaland now. Pep has literally changed the way they play from a team the way they used to play to literally building a team around Haaland, and I think that is sustainable all the time he stays fit. So that is, apart from us, I think that formula that City have got playing around Haaland is very sustainable.
Last one then. Will Graham say we're winning the league if we beat Spurs, Bayern, and Chelsea?
I possibly, yeah. Well, I'll have to say, I just want to beat. If we beat Spurs, Bayern, and Chelsea, yes, DG.
I still would be saying, you know what, one game at a time. For me, I'm looking to that January. If we beat Liverpool on the rebound at the Emirates, I will go on record and say, yeah, it's coming home, man. It's coming home. And as for this, you know, obviously, if Arteta doesn't win silverware, there's a conversation to be had in it. Like, everything needs to be on the table. But let's not do that, folks. Let's not get into that. Like, game by game, siege mentality. When them conversations need to happen, will happen. Right now, we've got the Premier League to fight for. We stop off on Wednesday against Brighton, and then we're back on the rebound in the Prem, innit, really and truly. So, yeah, man, let's let Unks get out of here. Graham, where can people find you? Before I finally let you get out of here, it's always a pleasure speaking football with you. Oh. Is that me, folks? Is it me? I think Graham's laptop probably died. It's cool, man. Big up, Graham. Great show. Let me text him. Clearly, his phone, the laptop died, man. You know he's a sound dude, man. Big up Unks, man. Big up Unks. Big up Unks. It's not me. It's not me. You know what? I mean, I'm no Graham. I don't think you lot want me to answer your questions, do you? You lot don't care about DG. When I get Graham and Lee and this one and Harry and this one, you lot care about theirs. When I ask you lot for questions, you lot need to stop showing me up in this channel, because when it's just me, you lot are not asking these. I've never seen boy ask me a good question like that. When I get these guests, you lot ask really good questions. When it's me, you lot don't deserve me, man. You lot don't deserve me, man. You lot don't deserve me. 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 I deserve better. Where's the standards? You don't want to play Champions League like Arteta said a few years ago. You know, horrible men and women. Horrible. 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 Where's them questions? Where them questions? See, look. Oh, no question. You, man, hate me, bro. FIFA career mode when talking chair. There needs to be a market for it, my guy, because I need to get we gotta invest in that. Like, I need to buy FIFA. We need to get the game capture card. If you lot want that, and there's enough interest, then yeah, I'm for everything in it. This year, I've told you lot, life is about making sense, bro. Man, want to do more of what works and less of what don't, innit? Get me? Like the gaffer. You get like that. I'm all gonna have a shot for you lot as well, people, because I love you lot. Yeah, that's a massive shot. I'm showing off for my people then. Don't bottle it. Don't bottle it. Don't bottle it. You know, when you do something in life and you immediately regret your decision. Another one. Someone send a super chat, bro. And then we do that. If no one send a super chat, I'm not being a guinea pig, bro. What did you just drink? Water. Medicine. Yeah. Medicine. Screamed it in Nuno's face. Play like you want to play Champions League. Arteta's a nasty man, you know, because when he was doing that, a split second probably thought, yeah, I know in my heart, you're not rolling Champions League with us. You're not. DG, can you see any team putting 3 past us this season? Yes and no. No, if you're asking me, Linz, logically, no, because Great Wall of N5. But there are them crazy games of football in it, like we might just rock up and it's them crazy 4-3 victories. And there is that element of just sometimes football is like that. Could even be on Wednesday. Not logically, illogically, and football being football, probably. But like if I was a betting man, once this season, maybe twice, if anything, Bayern will be a big test. I am on them, you know. I'm on them, you know. I'm on them. I want like revenge tour. As I said when Lee was here, I'm on them. I'm on them. I know you shouldn't be governed by revenge in life, yeah. I want their head on a stick. And plus, for all of what Bayern did to us, park Bayern for a sec, company. You opened your big mouth and said Lokonga was the next Yaya Toure. So I expect at the end of this season, yeah, has Lokonga technically been sold permanently or is he on loan again? I don't know. But I expect at the end of this, my man's at Hamburg and his brother's chatting shit. So at the end of this season, I expect to see him go to Bayern Munich. I'm on you for everything. I know I shouldn't. You're one of the only managers, but I'm on you. I'm on you. I'm on you. And anything City, yeah, you got history over there. So Vaki, look, it's getting cold outside. Welcome to October, brother. It is cold. I went out on Saturday. Blitz. It's blitz. I left my house just in the t-shirt. You know, you just want style. I was like, yeah. It's a jacket thing still. We'll go cloakroom. It's a jacket thing. It's a jacket thing. It's a jacket thing, man. But yeah, big up Graham as well. He was here. Big up Graham. Died is well, no, he didn't die. I guess his laptop or whatever died at the right time. Big up you lot asking questions, man. Put hairs on your chest. Yeah. I'm pretty hairless, man, apart from in 4 places. DG, are you concerned about if teams adapt to our set pieces, we may struggle to score goals in a game like yesterday? Naturally, because if a set piece thing ain't working, then we're going to have to find other ways. But so far, like, people have called us set piece FC for a while. Like, we're not new to it. Everybody else is, again, I'm being a bit silly, but everybody else generally is new to this set piece thing in these 8 games. We were doing this last year, this year, last year, and little bits in the year before. And Nicholas Hovers, like everybody at Arsenal, there's a head screw. Arteta there's a screw loose. He's a madman. I like my manager. My set piece guy, there's always another one. We can front poles, back poles, man are blocking runs. Nobody can stop Gabriel Magalhaes because we're blocking runs and he's a man monster. We can do the, like against Newcastle, the playing short thing. We just need to get more in terms of open play. I think it's more that we need players fit and we just need to bet on them. I think when you look in our attacking realms, yeah, like all of our attacking units, there's inconsistencies in it. Like Madueke's calm, had to adapt. Obviously, he's injured now, but had to adapt. Gyökeres, there's issues in that regard. There's positives and negatives. Trossard and Martinelli probably been 2 of our best attackers, but there's a bit of stuff over there. Eze's played right centre mid, left centre mid, the 10 thing, the left wing. Odegaard's been in and out. Why for that? But you get the point where we've had the continuity. Saka as well. We've had continuity in, well, Eze in terms of fitness, but like really with Rice and Zubimendi being fit, Marino here and there, but them 2 being fit and everybody in the back line, in it, bar Hincapie or the man that have been playing the majority of the game. So when these things get into place, I think no one can stop us. I'll be real. I think I'm waiting to see Gyökeres on a purple patch thing when he's got the bit between his teeth and said, fuck it, man, a boy in my touch. Don't worry. Play it into me. I'll chase my first touch, bully man and score. Eze is like, yeah, I got one goal. I want more. Saka's like, listen, World Cup year at the end of this. I want to win shit. Let's do our thing. Madueke doing what he's doing. Trossard Martinelli keep doing what he's doing. Gabriel Jesus keep doing what you're doing. Max Dowman, Wanyeri, okay. Let's wake up a bit. So naturally it's a concern. Hey, big up yourself for the super chat. Yo, it's Riley on my YouTube account. Another one. Bro, this guy's horrible. You're a nasty man. I mean, there was a super chat. So I did say someone sent a super chat. I did, man. I'm a man of the people. I need another bottle still, bro. I was doing too much, man. That's 3 bottles of red nothing. Friday it was done. About 42 hours. I was slight hungover on TalkSport as well, bro. Like I woke up, I was like, the only way not to be hungover is to drink more yak. That was the only way. That was the only way. But what the people them want, the people them get. Light work. Where's that water though? Light work. Don't get no ideas about sending super chats and doing shots anymore. Like one and done. Like no. Thank you though. We're here though. Appreciate you, Rob. Yeah. Hey Rob, when we get to 100k and if I have a party, you'll get a VIP entry, blood. We give you the good questions with guests so that DG Nation represents DG well. But come on, you're the top around here. Well, after the chair, I'll just big you up here. I big up you, man. Everyone gets love apart from me. Deluded good. Big up Charles. In all 4 to 5 games ahead in the PL, we are playing an earlier scheduled game than City or Liverpool. Do we think if we win first and open up a 10-point or 9-point gap with them, they'll be demoralized? It's a techie one because obviously, I don't think Liverpool are watching Arsenal, City are watching Arsenal, Arsenal are watching City or Liverpool. I don't really think everybody's, watching everyone. I think everyone's focusing on themselves, doing their thing and whatnot. But then after that, naturally, you are going to, we're playing before them. If we go win, we'll go on. Kind of what we've seen this week and last week. Like, these men are fucked up. Let's get out of there. Well, not the City game because City was same time as us, but the day before, Liverpool, the reigning champions, they effed up. So there is a part of that. But for me, I don't think you can watch any of that too much. I think the one thing I would say is I've always wondered for football players, obviously, well, I'd imagine, I know Arteta said it, but man are not allowed their phones at halftime. It'd be dumb, innit? Especially when you get into those high pressure moments. But like if we're playing at the same time as Liverpool City, I always do wonder, obviously, for the Arsenal players and us fans, you only focus about what's in front of us because it don't really matter what them man are doing unless we bag the 3 points in it. But I've always wondered, like, it could be a man warming up on the side. Like, I'm Miles Lewis-Skelly, I'm on the bench, City and Liverpool playing same time as us. Some fan just said, yo, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Liverpool have lost, City have won. It just takes him to go and tell one man and then the next man, and then it gets a bit mad. Or even the coaching stuff, because you man are allowed your phones. So I think the best thing is just to do your job. But naturally, bro, it could demoralize them. It should demoralize them, but then at the same time, we've seen City do madness. Remember, like, I will always be like haunted from when I remember Haaland, the first year he fought for the Titans, like saying that we're hunting them, we're gonna hunt them, man. They did, innit? And if anyone could do the mission impossible, it is Liverpool, innit? And these two teams, Haaland looks like if City just get a bit better, he will drag them towards where they need to go. Salah, he dragged Liverpool last season. Like, you could argue last season was Salah's best individual performance, individual campaign for Liverpool. So it's a techie one, man. It is a techie one. It's not buying a vote. Fuck it, I'm moving to them. Yeah, man. Pray for Jamaica, man. It's sad. It's sad. Can't even remember if Fabio or Bambi are loaned to permanent. One is another is coming back. Do you know what? I think Fabio Vieira is the one forwarding back. I hope so. See what it is with Fabio. If Fabio Vieira was just a bit meaner, ate some food, there could have been a player. There's a player in that. I don't think you're a bad player. I just think you're defensively. Every time I went to the Emirates when Fabio Vieira has been there, Arteta's on you. Like, you need to stand here, you're not standing there. Them things you can eradicate. I just think if you were stronger and more on it, then it's cool. But some players are just not meant for certain countries. Like Fabio Vieira, you do well in Spain and Portugal and these kind of leagues. England, it's not you. And it's not even because of your height or your weight, because there's guys with the same build to you, but they're on it. So it's something with you. Sometimes you're just not the guy in it. Stay safe, my Jamaicans, man. And everyone else around the world. DG, who we supporting in Pool City, or we'll be hoping for a draw at that point. I asked this earlier, and I'm going to ask this again before I answer, yeah? Liverpool plays City in a couple of weeks. Let's just assume, let's humor me, people. There's no such thing as a draw in football. Liverpool have to win, City have to win. One of these teams are going to win. Would you prefer Liverpool to win or City to win? Obviously, a draw would be perfect. I ain't supporting no one, man. Fuck them both, bro. Like, fuck them both, bro. Both of them can get done up. You know what time it is. Both of them come Emirates. What happened? Fuck them both. I ain't supporting none of them. Would you rather City win? Because Liverpool, you could say they're a bit stronger. They're the ones, like, it's a 3-horse race, but I feel media narrative and us, we're kind of making it a 2-horse race. Like, it's Arsenal, Liverpool, Arsenal. So by that logic, you'd rather City win. But then I think City are going under the radar. Like, I just think they obviously lost to Villa and they've obviously got issues and they're the most human that they've ever looked. But they could do a thing. Liverpool, I need them to keep. I need every day that Klopp is. Man, say Klopp. Every day that Slot is unable to figure this shit out technically is a blessing, in it, because there's bare players there. There's like whatever you like. The relationship between Salah and whoever's on the right hand side. The midfield is missing a 6. Hugo's doing his thing, but up front it's not ticking. The whole defensive ethos of Liverpool is shoddy right now. Man are not following runners. Defense is disjointed. People are just bare foolishness in it. It's schoolboyish. So by that logic, the more Liverpool collapse, the better in it. Really, I don't know though, man. Bayern have been too arrogant for too long, especially their board. I think they're just arrogant with us. So let's smack them in, bro. What is the current set piece to open goal scoring percentage? Because at this stage, I think our set piece and percentages are far higher than Prime Stoke City 2011, 2013. Big up yourself. Hey, your name's mad, so we're just going to call you B, yeah? But you was drawing me out on League on the stream. I was like, but you did say, I could tell you're a good guy, BG. Allow me, bro. Like, big up Lee, that's my guy, bro. Nobody pushes back against narratives more than me. Say what you want about this YouTuber. One, rise up another Arsenal content creator who went on national TV and said he's the most good-looking guy. That's irrelevant, but therefore relevant. Shout me. Second of all, I back the thing. If I die today, at least I'm going out as a real guy. I back us. You don't see me up there slagging us. I'll be fair and criticize us fairly and whatnot. You don't see me slagging us. I'll back it. I'm on when they say, what were they saying yesterday? Oh, Arsenal fans said this and that. What Arsenal fans? I don't know, officer. What Arsenal fans? Right? Arsenal fans. Support the channel, super chat to get DG Best Live, man. It's Monday. Riley, you're my guy. Another one that gets VIP. Jay, I love Jay, man. Sometimes he does my head in with his opinions, but sometimes I'm like, rah. But this is what I like. First off, teams having adapted to our set places for a couple of years won't happen overnight. Also, our players are more than capable of scoring goals, no concern. Listen, by the time they think they've clocked our set pieces, we've got a next thing. Right? We've got a next thing. And and again, obviously, I do think teams know this, but we're just fans, innit? I think with one thing, yeah, what I see with teams, they actually defend our dead balls and our set pieces and our corners quite well. But you see what people forget? If you imagine a corner, whether it's from the left or the right, so picture vision, let my chair talk to you. Picture Bukayo Saka or Declan Rice. They're about to do an in-swinger, right? Whatever you want's going on in the box, it's going on in the box. Balls come into the box now, right, people? The rival players are marking our play as well. One of Arsenal players are winning the ball. They've won the first ball. You know where the sheg is? It's the second ball. Predicting that none of these teams have clocked the second ball. We're on that. We've got players standing in many different positions. They've not clocked the second ball. The second ball is everything in football. Everything. If you kick a ball in the sky and someone heads it, you need to know where it's landing, innit? And teams ain't clocked that. Nicholas Holver needs an interview, man. I need to. Guys like you, I could sit down and understand football with. You're a madman. Me, you, Mikel Arteta. Let's go into that Arsenal London Coley theatre room. Why for that? And listen, I'll bring the Ray. Let's just get burst. And then you lot just teach me this tactic shit. Because one thing I think goes under the radar, but I'm a football nerd. I'm the biggest tactical on YouTube. I might not be able to share because these men know how to do the editing thing. And hey, guys, oh my God, Arsenal played the 3-9 link up. But you get it. I love all that stuff. But these lot ain't played even Sunday League. They ain't kicked the ball. I guarantee you, your favorite tactical, rising up on football, is gonna look at the football like a virgin's looking at a condom for the first time. Don't even know how to put it on. Put it on when he's soft in that chair. You're moving mad. You're moving mad. You're moving mad, chair, like fam. You're moving mad. You always take it too far, bro. You always do too much. You always do way too much. Come on, man. You're scaring people. DG, why do you think we look leggy all the time, especially against teams that played a match more recently than us? I disagree with us looking leggy all the time, but I just think Champions League takes bear out of us. Big up DG, who's better in K or Yoker? Sack, stop being dumb, bro. Stop being dumb, fam. Stop being dumb. City just fed up of them, so okay with Liverpool. I prefer a City win because a Liverpool win over City would be a big mental boost for them that I wouldn't want. To be fair to you, like if that game, I know it's played next week. If it's the way I feel right now, if it's played tomorrow, I think Liverpool win that, innit? I think Liverpool win that. The problem for Liverpool, and actually what I like is I can see you lot moving to City, beating them, but the way you lot moving, you might fuck up next week. And that's actually why I'm happy about I'm not obviously you gotta be up for every game, but like for us, I'm not worried about the top six. Not to say I've always been happy about the games against the top six and we can bully everybody, but I feel like it's easy to be up, bro. If you know, definitely where this Arsenal team is now, bro. If you know you're playing Haaland in City and Liverpool and all these teams, you need to be up for it. I'm not saying you're not up for it against Crystal Palace, Newcastle, but you're definitely going to be up for it against Newcastle. But Newcastle, West Ham, but it's more like business as usual type thing. It's like Sunday League. There's a couple teams that in our league I fucking hate. I know. I promise you, that's the highlight of my weekend. There's been situations there, date night, freaky things are going on after. I promise you, I'm not thinking about what we're doing. I'm tomorrow, first 30 seconds, I'm stepping on Achilles, I'm clamping Dons, I'm saying watch after the game. I'm trying to get you out of it. But then there's also times you're just you don't even know the team you're playing. It's calm. You're not really, you're on it, but you're turning up, hangover, it's cool. Like, so that's our issue. That's why I'm more proud of what we've done now. And to be fair, I would say Newcastle as well. But I think for me, the emphasis is more on West Ham, Fulham, and Crystal Palace. Maturity and professionalism. Got the goal, defend. Yeah, we could have scored more. There was a couple half chances. Moving in it. We review that tomorrow. On to the next game. Easy, I'll go City. Liverpool have more weapons to turn it around. Plus, I need confidence shot as soon as possible after them man winning last season. I want to draw, but prefer City over Liverpool at this moment in time. So it feels like you lot are going more for the City win. The chair's more handsome than GG. SLD, you're a guy, right? We're all inclusive, but why for that? We support Arsenal, not Man United, mate. Media says all Arsenal fans say when really that is, bro. I get it all the time, and I think that's with all football fans. It's like it's fair to say Arsenal is a team in England, right? Followed by millions around the world, right? One man or woman says something crazy, and we've all co-signed this. Well, Arsenal fans said, and don't get twisted. There's twats of every fan base, bro. And there's therefore a lot of special youths in our fan base. Like right now, there's probably some fans, we're winning the quadruple, we're winning the Tour de France, we're doing this, we're doing that. Equally, in a flip world universe, you see the positive run of wins we have right now. If it was negative, everything's crap, sack everything, there's emotional brothers. But it's easy to get at my team. Unfortunately, the algorithm, YouTube, the internet, major social platforms, you either have to be positive about nonsense, like Arsenal got the best grass in the world, or you gotta be negative about things that are not negative, like Jamie O'Hara coming out, and even I guarantee you, rise up the most harshest Mikel Arteta Arsenal outdone. Yeah, ask them, is Mikel Arteta a top 10 manager in the Prem or in the world? Whatever the fuck Jamie O'Hara said, yeah, Daniel Lloyd, by the way, whatever he said he's not top 10. It's an idiot thing. Do you have any concerns with not killing off games? Obviously, as much as it's a 1-0 to the Arsenal thing and that, obviously, every football fan, you want to score 2, 3, 4, ease off, innit? I've got confidence in our defense to see out Leeds, but there is going to be times where there's going to be a chink in the armor. I think we could score more goals. I'd say my task for the team, and who am I? I'm just on YouTube, but just watching my team, we need to start learning how to pack teams in the first half still. We need to. Newcastle, best result of the season for me because of everything. How we played, how we responded, the dramatics in it, the fact that we got a little beef thing going on. We shout on the Magpies, by the way, with the way we kind of go on. But I genuinely feel in the Newcastle game, in the first half here, I think it could have been 2, 3, 4. And I think there's been a couple, even Atletico Madrid, exaggeration. But I think we could have broke the deadlock in the first half. So I think we need to start learning how to pack teams in the first half, really. You know, goals change games. Goals change games at any given time. And for me, yeah, team, no matter what they say, like, because you know what? The shameless dons have realized to stop doing that bullshit now about Arsenal are negative. I promise you, and I'm sure every Arsenal fan will back me. You see, if you want to play football, we're Arsenal fans. We've seen it at Highbury. We've seen it in the Emirates. If you want to play football, we're on playing football, you know. Open up against us and we can do this thing. But if you don't want to do that, then it is what it is against the low blocks. Set pieces right now, we're busting case. We're going to have to find other ways. But for me, it's a thing where I like Arsenal scoring early goals. I couldn't tell you how many early goals we've scored. I don't think we've actually scored that many because obviously, no matter how much football's a weird game in it. I don't know how to make this make sense to you. I do struggle in life to articulate myself, but pardon me, look through the Premier League. There's defensive managers, offensive managers. What one man thinks is the most important, the next man thinks is the least important. But you see why football is a lovely game. You got to keep them at the back of your net. Got to put them in the back of your opponents. And I feel as an Arsenal fan, whether man are defensive managers or one of those tacticals anyways, they might do that against Arsenal or double down a bit more. Or there's people like Pep and Ruben Amorim who have openly come out and said, man, don't want to play this way, but Arsenal are mad. We have to make it difficult to break down. You see, if you score early, you've given them a decision because it like you've thrown their game plan out. If you score within the first 10, 50, if a team's doing the nastiest of mid, deep, low blocks and you bag early doors, then what are you gonna do? Because you can keep doing that, but you still need to you're gonna lose the game. You need at this point, if we go 1-0 up, you need to come chat shit to us in it. Like you need to grab a goal at minimum to get a point. Open up against us. It's scary, but not for us, isn't it? No one wants to see us succeed but Arsenal fans. To be fair, there's some good people out there. But even if you're not connected to Arsenal, if you're not a corner boy, fuck you lot. Who cares about you lot? If you lot don't want us to see, that's great. Keep hating on us. Jamie Ara needs to remember the entire Spurs 11 ran through his wife before he walked down the aisle, though. Fucking hell. Damn, that's horrible. Dermot, one love. Liverpool need to win. Can imagine Haaland doing madness this season. Liverpool ain't clicking this season. To be fair to you, I think Liverpool will, like when they box City, I think they're going to win, which probably means now the opposite, innit? Us against the world mindset, bro. DG, good streams today. Good conversations. Thank you. While I want Arsenal to obviously win it all, I also just enjoy being in the moment with my club and with our supporters. Facts, man. Facts. What happens when we don't win, if we don't win? And boy, for me, if there's another pattern, if we don't win, if there's another pattern, and you know where I'm going with it. I support Arsenal. I don't support the players beyond the obvious. I don't support the manager and the regime beyond the obvious. Fuck their jealousy, bro. Nah, DG, it had to be against Palace, bro. Marino against Newcastle. Eze against Palace. Rice against West Ham. Wednesday, start Gyökeres. I don't care about rest and all this stuff. Start Gyökeres against his old team. Start Gyökeres against his old team. Once the attack gets into full flow, we are going to look lovely, but maintaining the defensive balance is important. Exactly. Have we actually given up on Jesus? He's hungry to stay, and I'm waiting to see how he returns. Nah, hey, Jesus, until May 2026, you're my guy. You know what needs to happen. You know what bags you need to pack in it after that period. As a fan base, this guy's horrible, bro. Wife got passed around like flavors. As a fan base, we got to block out outside noise, support the boys this year. We're not going to, though. Some fans bite the bullet, bro. I'm Arteta out as they come. You're allowed that. You're allowed to think like that. I'd pack his bag tonight. He's not top 10, not even top 25 in the world, maybe, but it's a mad asterisk because no other manager had 6 years and ability to spend. That's incorrect. The 6 years thing, potentially, the ability to spend. Let's not do too much, bro. Like, come on. You're doing too much. You're my guy, but you're doing too much. Arteta's not a top 10 manager in the world, let alone the Premier League. Whichever one you want to go, let alone top 25. We don't, like, you're allowed to say you don't believe in him, sack him because he spent P's, all these things, but you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You know that's was. You know that's what. He is not top 10 in the Premier League. Top 10 in the Premier League. And in the world. Come on, don't talk foolishness, man. Don't start saying foolish names to me. You know you're not watching Getafe and Deportivo La Coruña. Don't tell me no tactical bullshit. Please, don't be dumb. Don't be silly. You're smarter than that. Because you know how to find YouTubers that talk sense. That's why you're here. You're better than that. Really, 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 really. And they say, I am not no Arteta sexual. I should bring them on the channel for them to do the defending thing. Egal settings, big him up. But top 10 in the... Really? This is where the argument gets it. Like, I can't lie. It stops losing credibility with me because I'm all for fair trials. When you start saying that, it's worse. Top 10 in the Premier League. Really? Really? Well, man are just going to say man that have won stuff in their careers rather than what they are in 2025. Like, if we're real, we are playing in the best league in the world. It's not a given we'll win. Give 110% and give yourself the best possible chance, though. That's what I'm on. But if we don't win, if Arteta sat there next to me, like, well, you know, man, see a good squad still. There's been new players. Bert is coming. Can't even draw out the cronkies. Even if you get like, on one hand, the nuances, like if you got 99 points and someone won with 100, we can sit there and we can talk about this. But then there is the bottom line, like, fam, you know you didn't get over the line, innit? There might have to be another pattern. Might have to try something else. I'm not on this trying again thing. I can't lie to you. It's a crime if we don't do this. Soundbite knowledge. But man, are just tweaking for 5 minutes of fame on overlap or something by saying this madness, bro. And there are some Arsenal fans, I don't get it, bro. Just because you're on major platforms, don't mean you have to suck off the odds. Oh, but he's a real fan. Oh my God, he says it like it is. No, you're just giving them fuel for fire. They're using you. Come on now. Defo not top 10, 25 in the world. All right, G. All right, G. I'll take your word for it. On that note, though, I've more than entertained you after Graham's stream. Not only have I entertained you now, big up Graham, big up Lee Gunner. We've done those streams. Big up myself because we did a stream earlier. So yeah, man, the work's never stopped, man. But yeah, man, I think you lot are probably bored of my voice now. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Always